message is for our youth, but it's also for all of us too. So, we all been celebrating Black History Month for some years now.
Yes.
Some of you longer than that, longer than I. And I never once thought to myself, what is this Black History thing all about? Who created it and why? Why do we even have it? And I know some of our youth are asking that question too. We have them celebrate and give accolades to African Americans from the past, you know, who have given contributions. But they ask the question of why? Why do we do that? Why do we show honor? And so I just took a little time to do a little research, Google, and I came up with this. And so Black History Month was created by a scholar. He was an author. This was back in the 1900s. And this was by a man known as Dr. Carter G. Woodson. And he was an author of what's called the Journal of Negro History. He was the founder of the Association for Study of African American History. He dedicated his life to celebrating all of the history and contributions of all Black people everywhere. And he did that because African Americans at that time, and even till now, were not being taught enough in our schools about our heritage, our achievements of our ancestors. And so he was determined to encourage Black studies in all of the schools that wasn't being taught. Now I could probably ask some of the youth now, what have you learned in your history classes about Black history? And I bet they could say a little, some, not much. And so this is what Dr. Woodson, why he came up with this. And it didn't start off with a month of Black history. It started off with a week. This is back in the 1900s. We didn't get to the month yet. And so one of the things that I kept saying to myself as I was growing up, I was thinking, wow, how come Black history, how come we only get like 28 days? You know, how come we get the shortest month of the year? And I used to blame it on white people. It's not their fault. They didn't think of this week order this, and we only gave a week in the beginning.
Yes, that's right.
And the only reason why they chose February was because Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, their birthdays are the second week of February, the 12th and 14th. And this was Dr. Woodson's way of celebrating those accomplishments. Now, Abraham Lincoln was a white man, but he did a lot for Blacks. And so did Frederick Douglass. So this is where we get the second week of what they called back then Negro History Week. And it wasn't until, that was in 1926. And it wasn't until 50 years later that week became a month. 50 years. And Dr. Woodson didn't live to see that. He didn't live to see this, what he created. But 50 years, that's a long time.
Yes.
And so now we know that we celebrate Black History Month because we celebrate all African Americans who helped to shape this nation. We helped. We help kids, we help. And so, this morning I wanted to say that our youth is our future, but they're also our present. They're here right now, they're our present. And we should acknowledge them and honor them this Black History Month. And every day. And so, youth, we honor you all today. Not for who you are, but what you with Jesus Christ in your heart, in your mind, your soul, you can accomplish anything. There's going to be bumps and bruises along the way, trust me. I still get them now, I'm older than you. We still get them. But it'll be much easier and you'll be able to walk through it as long as you have Jesus Christ in your life.
Amen.
And so I want you to remember Proverbs 16:3. Proverbs 16:3. And we're going to get some t-shirts and print them into the youth office. But Proverbs 16:3 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do.
Yes.
Whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. You guys hear me? He will establish your plans. Not your mama, not your dad, not grandma. God will establish your plans. And so we honor all of you today. And we say that you're our future of our society, but you're also the future of St. Philip, of our church. So when y'all go off to college, or even if you choose not to go off to college, whatever you do, commit to the Lord.
Amen.
And you'll be all right. And so we know there's going to be a different role for everybody. But if you keep the Lord in your life, you'll definitely get through it. And so that's what I have to say to our youth today. You have a lot of people in this church that you can come to and you can talk, ask questions. Got a lot of seasoned people here. Anything you want to know, we'll tell you. And we're going to tell you right. Right?
Amen.
Amen? And so that was just a brief thing. And the reason why I chose to talk about Black history is because I didn't even know Dr. Carter G. Woodson. I didn't even know that it started off being a week. I didn't even know that. And so I thank God for the opportunity that I even had to do that little bit of research because I learned something. Originally, I also wanted to talk about this one little girl. Her name is Elena Wicker. She's from Texas. And she's 13 years old. And she is going to be the first youngest Black medical student ever.
Amen.
She did a lot of hard work. She's smart. So are you. Whatever you choose to do. You don't have to be in medical school, but she chose that. And I wanted to highlight her before I started doing this Black History Month thing. But she's a normal 13-year-old girl, likes to do the same things that you guys like to do. Black girl, dreads in her hair. Look just like you and I. And so she's the youngest Black student accepted into, as a matter of fact, she's accepted into the medical university this year. And she says, I'm still a normal 13-year-old. I just have extremely good time management skills and I'm very disciplined. She enjoys things that are typical for her age, like playing soccer, baking, hanging out with friends. But she also happens to be more than 10 years younger than the average incoming medical student. And so I celebrate her today. We celebrate our young kids too, not just the old people or older people. We celebrate our youth too, because they're doing stuff now. And so that is my message that I have for the youth and for all of us today.
Amen.
Like